Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Council for Agricultural Science and Technology, or CAST, I want to welcome you to the 2021 Borlaug CAST Communication Announcement event. I am Kent Shesky, and I serve as the Executive Vice President and CEO for CAST. Please note that this webinar is being recorded and will be available later on our website. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Shavonda Jacobs-Young, Acting REE Undersecretary and Acting USDA Chief Scientist. Dr. Jacobs-Young has served as Administrator of the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Chief In-House Research Agency since February of 2014. Prior to that, she served as ARS Associate Administrator for National Programs, where she led the Office of National Programs, which manages the research objectives of the agency, and also the Office of International Research Program, which is responsible for ARS's liaison with its international partners. Thank you, Dr. Jacobs-Young, for joining us today.
Thank you, Kent, and good afternoon. I am so pleased to join you for this year's Borlaug CAST Communications Award presentation. I'd like to first thank Kent and his talented team at the Council for Agricultural Science and Technology for organizing this webinar and for the kind invitation to offer greetings from USDA. CAST has a long, trusted research partnership with USDA. And over decades, this partnership has facilitated cutting-edge research that continues to inform USDA priorities. And of course, our thanks as well to Tricia Beal and the Farm Journal Foundation, the new sponsor of the Borlaug Award. Your commitment to the work of the agriculture sector is deeply appreciated. Now, later in today's program, we will hear from last year's CAST Communications Award honoree, Dr. Alexa Lamm. She will discuss the ongoing evolution of how we communicate strategically about science. Her talk couldn't be timelier. This remains a critical challenge for all of us in the agriculture community to effectively present agriculture research as a public good and as a source of information that help people. In a world where solutions are desperately needed, solutions to hunger, disease, and inequality, evidence of impact goes a long way toward building public trust around the value of science. Good agriculture policy making is broad and inclusive and features input from stakeholders in all sectors. Good communication enables consumers to, for example, make informed consumer choices about nutrition, food quality, sustainability, and safety. It enables producers and supply chain managers to grasp the impacts of climate change on soil viability, crop production cycles, and rangeland sustainability. And it enables agriculture planners to harness the power of data, robotics, and artificial intelligence to transform the next generation of agriculture. Now, it is one thing to master an area of agricultural knowledge and understand its every nuance, and agricultural scientists do this every day. It's quite another thing, though, to be an ambassador of that knowledge, to communicate it meaningfully to the world. This is why the CAST Communications Award is significant, and it's a significant achievement. It rewards agricultural, environmental, or food sector professionals for the power of their communications. This is all to say that we must step up our game and provide incredible, unbiased, strategic, and science-based information to policymakers and the public on agricultural issues that affect the quality of life for Americans and others around the world. Lastly, I'd like to take a moment to talk about Dr. Borlaug. His plant breeding techniques in wheat turned Mexico dramatically from a developing country to an exporter of wheat. He basically transformed agriculture. His work in the battle against global hunger saved more than 1 billion people from starvation and malnutrition. And it was acknowledged through the awarding of a Nobel Peace Prize. Now, I bet you're wondering, okay, where are you going with this? I mentioned this today because I think it's worth noting that Dr. Borlaug's signature contributions to agriculture were made more than 50 years ago, long before mass communications, the internet, social media, and the 24/7 news cycle. So given the scale and range of agriculture innovation today, Imagine what we might be able to accomplish, what might be possible if we master the art of agricultural storytelling using the communication tools we now have available to us. So with that, I want to thank you again for allowing me to be with you today, and I look forward to welcoming all of you back to the USDA Witten Patio next year.
Thank you, Dr. Jacobs-Young, and it's a pleasure to work with you throughout the year, and we particularly enjoy this. And thank you for the invitation to be back on the Witten Patio. We're looking forward to that and hope that we're able to do that. A little overview information about CAST. CAST is a nonprofit 501c3 membership-supported organization comprised of scientific societies, companies, nonprofit organizations, universities, libraries, and many, many individual members. CAST was established in 1972 at the recommendation of the National Academy of Sciences National Research Council. CAST board is comprised of representatives of our various scientific society, agribusiness, and nonprofit organizations. CAST, through its network of experts, assembles, interprets, and communicates credible, balanced, science-based information to policymakers, the media, the private sector, and the public. CAST addresses issues of animal science, food science, and agricultural technology, plant and soil science, and plant protection sciences with the input of economists, scientists, sociologists, and legal experts. CAST vision is a world where decision-making related to agriculture and natural resources is based upon credible information derived through reason, science, and consensus building. This vision was shared by Dr. Norman Borlaug, who played an important role in the history of CAST. CAST's first paper was authored by Dr. Borlaug, and some of the last written work before his death was a preface to another CAST paper. We are here today to announce the 2021 Borlaug CAST Communication Award, or BCCA, an award given annually to a scientist, engineer, technologist, or other professional who demonstrates a passion and interest in communicating the importance of agricultural science to policymakers, to the news media, and to the public. CAST presented this award annually beginning in 1986. The award was originally named and dedicated to Dr. Charles A. Black, the first executive vice president and member of CAST founding committee. Since 2010, when the award was renamed to honor Dr. Borlaug, the BCCA has been presented to several excellent science communicators. All of our award winners have been an outstanding example of excellence in communicating the science, the technology, and the innovation of food and agriculture. It is now my pleasure and honor to introduce our keynote speaker and the 2020 Borlaug CAST Communication Award winner, Dr. Alexa Lamm, Associate Professor of Science Communication, University of Georgia. Dr. Lamm is nationally and recognized internationally and nationally as an acclaimed research scholar who examines the impact of communications and educational practices, especially as they relate to the technology that agricultural production while maintaining a sustainable environment. I have no doubt it will soon be clear why she was a very worthy recipient of last year's award. Thank you, Dr. Lamm, for joining us today, and we look forward to hearing your remarks.
Thank you, Kent, for that kind introduction. It has been an amazing year. Crazy year, but an amazing year, no doubt. Winning this award has provided a lot of opportunities for expanding my personal engagement in science communication, and I'm excited to share some of those thoughts with all of you today. I am having trouble pressing, there we go. First, I can't thank CAST enough for this recognition and for sponsorship of this award. CropLife Foundation supported this award last year, and I just would like to thank them for supporting communication within the agricultural space. But let's talk about societal evolution. If you read my title, you probably saw this term. But what does that even mean? To me, it's a fancy way of saying global change or shift, a change we can't come back from. One that indicates life as we knew it before will never be the same again. And I believe most of us would agree the world has gone through a societal evolution in the last 16 months, especially using this definition. Here in the United States, we have seen more change in the way that people communicate and the way that they obtain their news than ever before. This is a societal evolution that has come from feelings of fear, anxiety, illness, and grief. It's one that has come as we face anger and depression, and as we work to end systemic racism. But we have also experienced positive evolutionary change this past year, an evolution in how we live our lives. We've been forced to slow down, to reflect upon and recognize the things most important to us. And this is good news for science and agricultural and environmental sciences specifically, for a myriad of reasons. Our studies over the past 16 months have shown the pandemic has re-engaged much of the American public with nature. We have reconnected with a food system we took for granted, with more people growing their own food, supporting and engaging in community gardens, and appreciative when grocery store shelves are full. Many Americans now acknowledge that food security and food safety is not only a distant problem faced in the developing world, but one right here at home. And we have celebrated amazing scientific achievements like CRISPR that may cure a myriad of diseases while taking food production to the next level. This one by a team of women, no less. And we just recognized another impactful woman this morning as the 2021 World Food Prize laureate. We have learned how to connect with one another despite physical limitations. We have been discussing a flux in online communication and news consumption for a while, probably the last 10 years as we see a shift to online communication. 2020 and now 2021, and all life has brought with it, has forced us to live our lives even more online, despite geographic location. I am sure many of you see this screen as often as I do, practically living our lives, meeting with colleagues, friends, and family, teaching classes, learning, and even giving presentations on the Zoom platform, like Kennedy, one of my fabulous graduate students, is in this picture, where I am right now. Did you know that Kennedy and the rest of her generation currently make up 40% of consumers? They spend just shy of 3 hours per day online using some form of social media. And recent studies have shown 65% of those under the age of 40 reported using Instagram as their major source of general and political news. General and political news. Think about this past year and what's occurred in our political news. On top of that, Gen Z showed up more than any other generation to vote in the last general election. So as more and more of them become old enough to vote, they will soon dictate our trajectory as a nation due to their ability to control not only the consumer market, but also the political landscape. To capitalize on this moment in time, when agriculture and the environment have once again become important, we need to shift to communicate the way Gen Z communicates. The opportunities I'm about to share with you are based on what I've learned over the past 16 months, both from my research, but also from my conversations with members of this generation that I get to work with and teach every day. Instagram is full of social media influencers reaching hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in matters of seconds. Based on our research, those in our social circles, including influencers who are deemed as friends, are often trusted over the scientific community. I'd like you to meet Lazarus Lynch. I met Lazarus last year when I spoke on a panel as part of the World Food Prize. He's a chef, author, entrepreneur, two-time Chopped champion, and he's the host of Snapchat's first ever cooking show. He's a 4-H alumni and an openly gay Black man with a very strong social media following. He's considered a social media influencer and can reach more people about the food they eat, the food they purchase, and the food production practices that he deems important in moments than any of us can with the touch of a button on his phone. This means he can reach more people with his messaging in a few seconds than I probably will in my entire career. Now, if you follow him on social media, he is not always talking about food. His imagery is flamboyant, opinionated, speaks to his faith, his culture, and his heart. When you listen to what he's saying, it's obvious he believes in science, supports agriculture, and wants people to purchase and eat healthy, nutritious, delicious food. He's bringing about positive societal change in a very special and meaningful way, but it is one unique to him. But no one from agriculture or scientific field has asked him to partner. No one has reached out to him aside from getting him to speak at 4-H functions to inspire young members, to discuss science with him in a way that would leverage his influence to spread the word about breakthroughs in agricultural science. He is definitely someone who could and would speak about sustainable agricultural practices he believes in, understands, and he does so on occasion, especially when he sources food for recipes from specific producers he deems friends and worthy of praise. After he spoke to my science communication class this past fall, I asked my graduate students a question. Why hasn't the scientific community reached out to Lazarus and other social media influencers like him? They responded that he is wildly unpredictable and will post what he wants to post. They said, we can't control him. Not having control makes it scary to collaborate, to partner with, because universities and the agricultural industry has a specific image or brand it needs to uphold. But as you can see from this image, Reebok hasn't been afraid, and his campaign for them is going strong. And there are many other influencers out there interested in agriculture, the environment, in food, and the role that it plays in our lives, just like him. We just have to find them and be unafraid. We can choose to embrace the way people are now communicating, who they trust, and capitalize on it, or we can continue to do things the way they have done. I say we take a leap and let go of some of that control, but now I recognize this is a cringeworthy suggestion to many of you. It makes us all a little nervous and feels very unknown, but there are people who can leverage to help in this endeavor. So while this is one opportunity, I want to talk to you about another. Given the dramatic shifts to online communication and the myriad of platforms that arise, dissipate, reappear, disappear, engaging in social media and the online news world seems daunting to many of us. But there's a whole generation of rising communication stars this comes very naturally to, and we need to hand over the reins. Now, I know a lot about communication theory. I study it, I teach it, I can use hashtags, follow, and retweet, but it hasn't always been a part of my life. I remember getting my first cell phone in college, and that alone means I'm not as qualified to know how to communicate in this space than someone who is a digital native. When I was at the University of Florida, working with the UF-IFAS Center for Public Issues Education, we saw a huge boost in our social media presence as soon as we handed it over to our undergraduate students. We let them run with it, They are witty, funny, creative, and post things I would never even think to post in ways I would never post them myself. But they garner an immense amount of attention and a huge following. About 6 months ago, Dr. Alan Moore, our Associate Dean for Research here at UD, and I handed over science communication efforts from our Ag Experiment Station to Allison Fortner, another one of my wonderful graduate students, and she has run with it, not only increasing the Twitter and Instagram following and engagement rapidly, but also the way the scientists in our college are thinking about communicating their science. Where she used to have to reach out to them to get their stories, they are now calling her, asking to be featured. The trick is to hand over the account passwords and get out of their way, because they're all conscientious and very eager to please. So the instant we tell them to do something, their creativity and spontaneity is disrupted. This takes trust on our part, but the payoff is huge. So while this is a great opportunity, I have one more to talk to you about before I go. I want to discuss the vaccine, a major scientific breakthrough. I can't even tell you how many people I've heard say the words, if we can develop a vaccine in 9 months, we can do anything as a global society. Science is shining brightly. It will, has, and can save lives. Let's know the mRNA vaccine, the foundational blocks for both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, were not developed in the last 9 months, but rather was the result of a woman with a dream, failed scientific experiments, and an academic career full of rejection. Dr. Cataline Carrico. Dr. Carrico spent the 1990s collecting rejections. Her work attempting to harness the power of mRNA to fight disease was too far-fetched for government grants, corporate funding, and even support from her own colleagues. By 1995, after 6 years on the faculty at the University of Pennsylvania, Carrico got demoted. She told the Boston Globe, usually at that point, people just say goodbye and leave because it's so horrible. But she persevered, she found new partners, and found new funding, and continued her work. And in 2005, Carrico and her colleague Weissman had a breakthrough, creating a hybrid mRNA that could sneak its way into cells without alerting the body's defenses. So while the academic community didn't really take notice, the results did catch the attention of an individual who would later help found Moderna and Pfizer's future partner, BioNTech, of which she is now a senior vice president. Without decades of scientific inquiry that resulted in failure after failure, we would not have the vaccines in 9 months' time that are saving the world today. So why aren't we telling this story? Why aren't we using this moment in time to showcase how an investment in science now could and most probably will lead to solving the world's problems we don't even know exist yet? At some point, the scientific community stopped publishing and sharing failure. We stopped encouraging the public to be curious for the sake of learning and increasing the body of knowledge. But what if we don't know what we need to solve the next issue that faces the world in 5, 10, 20 years? The public needs to know that science is not perfect. Doctors practice medicine, but scientists speak in scientific fact and truth. Like it can't be adjusted or adapted based on new findings and new technology. Our research has shown the public does not see the scientific community as transparent, and it's largely our fault. As we communicate science, we need to be open about limitations, about failed hypotheses and successes like the COVID-19 vaccine that came from decades of failed research. I want to encourage you all to face the world with curiosity, not judgment. I believe that's how Dr. Norman Borlaug lived his life. I encourage you to capitalize on this moment in time where agriculture and scientific discovery is on Front Street. I encourage you to let go of control and rather than disregard or become frustrated with the social media influencers sharing opinions online with strong followings, to reach out to them, teach them, and share your ideas and thoughts so that they can learn and share their message from an educated place. Believing in the younger generation and trusting their innate experiences using online platforms could catapult science communication to the next level. But we have to trust them and again, let go of control. Sometimes this is going to go well and other efforts are going to fail. But I think we've learned from Dr. Carrico today that failure can lead to great success, and we need to start supporting and sharing failure because it can and will often lead to amazing breakthroughs. We need to tell the story of scientific inquiry, of why investing in science now can lead to greater things and solve problems we don't even know about yet. Those who know me know I'm a big advocate of storytelling, of putting a face to an idea, of making science personally relevant. I would challenge each and every one of you to consider doing just this. Tell your story, share your success and your failures. Bring back a faith in science that makes the world curious and less judgmental. Thank you all for being here today, for listening to my thoughts on how we can bounce forward and capitalize on the communication shifts we see happening all around us. Thank you again to CAST for a fabulous year and for recognizing my work. If you're interested in continuing this conversation, please connect with me through email or on one of these platforms. And now I look forward to hearing all about the next Borlaug CAST Communication Award recipient.
Thank you, Dr. Lamm, for those inspiring and thought-provoking comments. We really have appreciated your service this year as the recipient of the award and the outstanding job that you have done of really speaking about the importance of communicating the science and being open to new ways and new pathways to get to our objective of helping create greater understanding. So thank you, and again, congratulations on your year of service in this role. The recognition of excellence in communication continues now as we learn the name of the 2021 winner. I'd like to call upon Dr. David Baltensperger, professor and department head of the Soil and Crop Science Department at Texas A&M University and the current president of CAST, to make the announcement. David provides leadership administration of a large comprehensive program of research, teaching, and extension at his department at Texas A&M University. He's been an individual member of CAST for more than 20 years, and before being elected president, served as the board representative for the Crop Science Society of America and also the society liaison to the board of directors. He also served as the chair of this year's Borlaug CAST Communication Award Selection Committee. David, we look forward to hearing the name and information about our new award winner.
Thank you, Kent, and thanks, Alexa. I really appreciate the words that you provided. I appreciate the insight you provided, and I look forward to continuing the conversation. Thanks for your efforts to communicate in behalf of science. Thank you for joining us for the announcement of this year's Borlaug CAST Communication Award winner. As president of CAST, I had the honor of chairing this year's selection committee. The selection process can be challenging for the committee. More scientists are communicating credible research to various audiences. And this trend is reflected in the number and quality of nominations we received this year. The slate of talented and worthy candidates was truly impressive. It is obvious that science communication is more important to society now than ever. This award reflects Norman Borlaug's legacy and includes a cohort of influential ag science communicators from around the world. Dr. Alexa Lamm and the previous winners have shown that science and research are important, but they also know that communication is essential. They walk the walk in various ways, as they provide the many facets of the food and agricultural industries. This year's winner embodies all aspects of this award. She has been described as a pioneer, international leader, and icon of young science communication professionals. It is my honor to announce the 2021 Borlaug CAST Communication Award winner, Dr. Sarah Evanja. Dr. Evanja is a research professor in the Department of Global Development with a joint appointment in the School of Integrative Plant Science in the College of Agriculture at Cornell University. She is an adjunct faculty member at the Boyce Thompson Institute and also serves as the founding director of the Cornell Alliance for Science, a global communications effort that promotes evidence-informed decision-making across a range of science issues. Evanja received her PhD in plant biology from Cornell University in 2009. She now teaches courses in agricultural biotechnology at the graduate and undergraduate level and is part of an interdisciplinary team that developed a massive open line course, or MOOC, on the science and politics of GMOs on Cornell's edX platform. She was instrumental in launching the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences Initiative, AWARE, that stands for Advancing Women in Agriculture Through Research and Education, which promotes women in agriculture. Evanja is being recognized for her leadership in visioning the innovative global communications platform that she leads. The Alliance for Science is a global initiative with an international network of science allies. The Alliance has trained 800 people in 50 countries with innovative, progressive tools for communicating effectively about agricultural science. Since its founding in 2014, the Alliance has become a credible source for information on biotechnology, as well as the misinformation that accompanies that topic and other science issues, such as vaccines, COVID-19, and climate change. Evanja's efforts have been especially significant in creating a global platform that allows others to speak up in support of access to agricultural technologies. As part of her work with the Alliance, Evanja has launched an imaginative outreach tool, the Modified Food Truck, which will travel across the country to deliver compelling science-based information about genetically modified foods, as well as edible samples. The Mod Squad team, a group of science communicators, will engage with people about science and its role in combating climate change and food insecurity. In other words, solving some of the biggest problems facing humanity now and in the future. Since 2014, Dr. Evanja has raised millions of dollars in grants, including sizable ones to support the Cornell Alliance for Science. She has also received a multitude of awards and honors for her research and communication skills. Dr. Evanja has been active in initiatives to support and advance women in science, and she is involved in many professional organizations. With her ability to communicate on a variety of issues facing science, agriculture, and technology, she is a worthy recipient of the 2021 Borlaug CAST Communication Award. As the recipient of the 2021 Borlaug CAST Communication Award, Evanja now joins 11 other respected and talented scientists, communicators in achieving this award that honors the legacy of Norman Borlaug. Congratulations, Dr. Evanja. Kent will now introduce our next speaker.
Thank you, David, for those remarks. And again, congratulations to Dr. Evanja, and we look forward to working with her. Joining us today is Julie Borlaug. Julie is the Vice President of External Relations and Vice President of Communications and Public Relations for Inari. She also serves on the World Food Prize Foundation Council of Advisors, serves as the President of the Borlaug Foundation, and also serves as a member of the CAST Board of Trustees. Julie, welcome to our program today, and we look forward to hearing your comments.
Kent, thank you for having me. I first want to say congratulations to Sarah. I have known Sarah for years, and I cannot think of a more fitting honor for her. She truly is a part of my grandfather's legacy. A lot of people don't know that. I would say she led the Borlaug Global Rust Initiative, but Ronnie probably wouldn't like me to say that, but she had an integral role in creating the success of that. And then what she's done with the Alliance for Science. So to my good friend, thank you. And I'm so excited for you. And it's been a great day for women in science with our female laureate at the World Food Prize, and then today with our CAST Borlaug awardee. On behalf of the board of CAST, and also on behalf of the CropLife Foundation, more importantly, thank all of you for being here. We have always been honored to be a part of the Borlaug CAST Award. It's so important that we continue to highlight these wonderful scientists and members of the ag community who speak to the public, advocate for innovation in science, and for everything we do, so we can continue to fund, support, have the regulatory support, the public support for all the science we need. I am excited to introduce Trish Beal. The award is going to be transferred to the Farm Journal Foundation, and Trish is the CEO, president of that. I've known Trish just as many years, and I hope we all see each other this October. But Trish, before being at the Farm Journal Foundation, she was at Novus International. She's on the board of the World Ag Forum. She's the program chair of IFAMA, and many, many other accolades. She lives, breathes agriculture, and has a passion for it, as many of us do. We know that the Farm Journal Foundation will continue the great work of what we've done at the CropLife Foundation, and also continue the great support for this award. So Trish, without much more ado, I would like to introduce you, and if you could make some comments for us, please.
Thank you, Julie. That was really, really kind. I appreciate you and your friendship and your commitment and leadership in agriculture. Thank you so much. And thank you to Kent and the entire team at CAST for your very important work. Farm Journal Foundation is so proud to be aligned with CAST and to recognize scientists like Dr. Evanja. The Borlaug CAST Communication Award is such a uniquely important platform because it calls out these special leaders who have stepped beyond scientific discovery to engage with diverse stakeholders. And at the Farm Journal Foundation, we share this mission of bringing together diverse stakeholders. The pillars of our mission are global food security, agriculture R&D, nutrition, and conservation. And each of these areas is extremely complex and global in scope, and building towards tangible outcomes in these spaces requires partnership. So this is central to our program framework and approach. And since our inception, it's been mission critical for us to build partnerships with farmers, ranchers, and growers, with scientists, academics, and global thought leaders. And for this reason, we are very passionate about supporting leadership capacity in agriculture and science communications, because our mission is dependent on it, as are many others that are working towards these noble outcomes for our world. The role of science and trust in science in our society has never been more challenged and more important than it is today. So we're really happy to be partnering in this space with CAST. And we thank you, Dr. Evanja, for your dedication and your contributions. We're so grateful for you, and that CAST provides this very special way to recognize the extraordinary value of great communicators. So thanks for letting us be a part of it.
Thank you, Julie and Tricia, on behalf of CAST, we really appreciate the Farm Journal Foundation stepping forward to take on the sponsorship of this award. We look forward to working with you to really build the importance and the prestige of this award, as well as continue to recognize outstanding scientists like we have in the past. And more importantly, as David said, to recognize those who really strive to be the communication leaders in their field. Dr. Evanja, again, congratulations, and we welcome you to what we think of as a great cohort of science communicators. And we look forward to working with you not only this next year as you step forward and receive the award, but also years beyond that. As you've seen in many of our communications, we tend to work with, or we like to work with, and continue to involve our past Borlaug CAST Communication Award winners in the work that we do. Please watch the CAST website for updates and news and activities. Also, note that the recognition ceremony for Dr. Evanja will be for the 2021 Borlaug CAST Communication Award will take place during the World Food Prize Symposium the week of October 2021. If you listened to the World Food Prize webinar this morning, you heard the announcement by Barbara Stinson that this year's event was going to be hybrid, meaning it would both have in-person and live. So we'll be working very closely with the World Food Prize Foundation to better understand kind of what their vision or plans are and how we plan our award so that it fits well within that framework. But we're excited that we're moving forward. I'd also like to point out the 2020 CAST Annual Report is also available. We're pleased to share that the digital version of the report is available on our website, and we'll be mailing hard copies of this to our members in the coming weeks. So please go to our website and visit that, and be looking for your hard copy that we'll be sending later on. I would also like to invite you to join us June the 8th as we host another webinar to release our newest CAST commentary, the role of agricultural science and technology in the Climate 21 project implementation. The paper overview and a panel discussion will be led by Dr. David Baltensberg, CAST president. So please stay tuned for more information and invitations. And again, to all of you, I'd like to thank you for joining us today to be a part of this important event, and also what we think is a significant event, an opportunity to recognize those scientists, professionals, others who really strive to communicate the science, technology, and innovation that is so important to food and to our modern agricultural system. Thank you again for joining us, and I hope you have a great day.
And congratulations, Sarah.